Hi community, welcome to another episode of the Multiple Birth Experience podcast. First of all, I just want to wish everyone, all my listeners, all my followers, all our supporters and anyone that is pretty much part of the Multiple Birth Experience community a prosperous, happy new year. Today is the 1st of January 2021. So if you've made it to January 2021, congratulations, well done. It's been a mad 2020 and a lot has happened last year. We've lost a lot of loved ones. Many people had passed due to the COVID-19 pandemic and illness and sickness, and just a lot has happened last year. It's just been a crazy 2020. No one would have ever expected that to have happened to anyone, much less, to people that or close family and friends. The year kicked off with Kobe Bryant passing, that whole madness of him crashing in his helicopter. I mean, that was a big hit in the stomach. I mean, I remember feeling some type of a way about it at the time when it happened, because it was like, I can't explain it. It was like 1 minute I saw him tweeting, responding to James, is it James? LeBron James, that's it. He was responding to LeBron James's tweet because he had, I think, passed his stats or something. I'm not really a basketball head like that, but I know LeBron James was celebrating or was happy about something to do with basketball because they were playing. He plays for the Lakers, and he had matched or beat or surpassed Kobe Bryant's stats to something, or points, I don't know. And then Kobe Bryant had responded to him and tweeted back congratulations and whatnot. I just briefly saw it because it was all over the blogs and stuff. I didn't think anything of it. And then a few hours later, or probably even less than a few hours later, like an hour or so, because we get everything. We get everything in real time due to the blogs and stuff, but at the same time, we're different. We're in the UK and you guys are in the US, for those that are listening in the US anyway. I was going through my WhatsApp statuses, I was watching statuses on my phone on WhatsApp, and I saw a friend post RIP to Kobe Bryant, and I was thinking, what? Like, what do you mean RIP? I just saw him tweet. Like, what are you talking about? And it was like, no, yeah, he passed. I'm like, nah, you're lying. Like, I don't like, no. This I said to her, this is a sick joke. Like, why would you tweet something like that? I just literally saw him tweet. He just tweeted. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean RIP? Like, how can he? What happened to him if he just passed? Because what happened? Did he get shot? So I said, no. So I went on Google and checked myself. I went on Instagram, I went on Facebook, I went on all the blogs to check if this was true. And it was true. Everywhere I went, I saw RIP, Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash, blah, 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 blah. At that point, we didn't know how many other people had died along with him. But it was just the fact that the news broke that he died from a helicopter crash. And yeah, it was just everywhere. And the thing is that it's not like I'm a basketball head or anything. I was just like, no, like, I don't know, it just hit different for some reason. It just hit me different. I don't know how it is for you guys, but for me it just hit me differently. Like, I just don't understand the impact that it gave me, even though I wasn't a big fan of basketball like that. I don't really know much about basketball. I know a few players only because of the fame that they had, but I don't know what they played, what role they played in basketball. I didn't know their numbers. Until things go viral, you don't really pay attention to a lot of things, So that was my stance on it, and I just couldn't believe it. It was just a big shock. And then more information started pouring out as to who else died on that helicopter. And when it came out that other families was on there, his daughter died along with him. It just got worse and worse and worse. And you would think that would have been the worst of it all, but it was just the beginning. I just couldn't comprehend it. as we was hearing more and more news coming in, you know, it turns out that there was like another family on the helicopter with him. I think the coach, his wife, and their daughter. It was just overwhelming. It was just too much. It was just too much to even like take and bear and even think of, because you just can't. You can never. You know, you can't make it up. You know, you can't make something like that up. It was crazy. You know, so that kicked off 2020 of all the craziness, all the bizarre things that's happened last year. And yeah, RIP to Kobe. He was a legend in the basketball game and in general. And RIP to his daughter, and prayers out to her, his family. It seems like the family have been trying to, you know, move on. I'm sure, obviously, they haven't forgotten him, but I do follow Vanessa on Instagram, and, you know, she's been posting a few pics here and there, and, you know, she's trying, you know, no one can ever wish for, I wouldn't even wish that on my worst enemy, to be honest, but, oh, man, like, it's just crazy. And then, you know, obviously she's got this going on with her mum now, but that's another story. And then, you know, March came. I mean, we lost another a musician, but I mean, not that it doesn't matter, but yeah, that was a bit strange how that happened in February. A rapper called Pop Smoke, and then March, out of nowhere, I started hearing little things here and there about this disease or some kind of thing called COVID or Corona, but I didn't really pay too much attention, you know. I didn't pay too much attention to it because I don't like listening to any really bad news. I mean, some of the things was kind of scary. I got so many videos sent to me on my WhatsApp about this so-called COVID-19, what's it called? This thing that was passing, that was killing people in China. The coronavirus. They were saying this coronavirus that was killing people, and people were dropping dead left, right, and centre. And this is before it hit UK. This is before it. I mean, I think it already hit America, but it didn't hit UK until later on, way later on, because a lot of people had somehow, for some reason, went to Italy, and then, boy, as soon as they all left Italy, they all came back, and then people from Italy brought the coronavirus to the UK. That's from what I saw, from what I heard in the news anyway. So as I was hearing this corona thing here and there, people were sending me videos, and I just couldn't bear to like watch the whole thing. I just didn't want to hear it. Not that I was trying to be ignorant about it. I just, you know, sometimes you just don't want to hear, you know, negative things. So I just ignored it for a while until it was just all over, until you just couldn't ignore it no more. You know, when you hear the news so many times all over the place that you can't even avoid it, that you are forced to listen to it because it's getting really serious. Yeah, when it gets to that point, then you know it's serious. It was a serious thing. This coronavirus was not playing, and it just started spreading. It spreaded like just so quick, like some kind of wildfire. You know, like wildfire in the forest, when as soon as you light one bush, I guess it just starts to just spread across the whole forest. It was like that. And I do remember, or I do recall, a lot of people had gone to Italy for some holiday or for something anyway. I don't know if I was left out of the memo, but a lot of people went to Italy, and then their case of corona was so high. It was just so high that everyone that I think they had some kind of lockdown going on, and then everyone had to go back home. So everyone was traveling back to their home, their countries, Australia, America, UK, wherever they were from. Everyone traveled back home, even Africa, and then that's what spread it. When they came back, they basically brought back the coronavirus, whether they had it or not, because sometimes you cannot detect it. Like, even if you don't have the symptoms, you might be just carrying it. So they brought it back home, and then that's when it just started spreading to all the countries, I guess, and it just got worse from there. And March, I remember that So clearly, because it was my daughter's birthday around that time as well, and they had to lock down the schools. They took a while for them to decide to lock down the schools in the UK. I'm not gonna lie, they should have locked down the schools way sooner, because we had pretty much of a head start compared to other countries that was going through it really bad. We had a head start because we can see from the news and in the papers what was going on over there. You know, so my thing was, why did you wait for it to spread so badly in the UK to do something about it? You get what I'm saying? Why did you wait so long to do something about it? Why did you lock? Because the first thing you would think is to lock down before it got really out of control. You know what I'm saying? Like, before things get out of control, let's lock down the country, let's lock down the schools, let's lock down all these places where people come in masses, you know, before it gets out of control to the point where we cannot control it. But no, they wait for it to spread and people dying, dropping like flies, for them to do a lockdown. Anyway, I could never understand how they made the decisions, but you know, it's what it is. They locked down the schools, and then we was on lockdown for pretty much till September or August, September, when they opened everything back up. And even at that point, I thought it was too soon, because people were still dying, things were still happening, we could still see things happening. Yes, it reduced it, but it didn't reduce it dramatically. It's not like it went down to 0 or 5 or 10 a day. It needed to be gone, you know, but they didn't wait for that. They just thought, yeah, it's going down, so maybe. No, because as soon as everyone came out again, it started to rise. It did not make any sense. You know, they opened up the schools, everyone started going back to living like normal. The only difference is they was telling us to just, you know, make sure that we're careful. Just be careful, wear masks, even though they said in the beginning that masks ain't gonna do nothing for us. Now all of a sudden it's supposed to protect us from this deadly disease, a mask. Okay, we wear masks, but it's still rising. So clearly the mask ain't really do nothing, and people are still living their life as normal and just be crowding places and going to big, you know, events and just be crowding amongst each other. And yes, you have to realize as well, not everyone is being tested for the coronavirus. So even though they don't have symptoms, they're still carrying on as normal. They're not being tested, so they don't even know that they've got it, and they're probably just passing it around even more. If that's the case, if it's you know, what we're dealing with is real. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, 2020 has been a mad one. It's been a really, really mad one. Now, fast forward to now, you know, the multiple birth experience. I mean, it has affected the multiple birth experience at some length, because the plan was to have events. Yeah, I launched my event last year, November. We had a little small gathering. Was a success. It was a good turnout. I'm happy about it. I mean, it wasn't not that it wasn't what I expected. It was more than what I expected, because my vision was executed, and also the help and support that I got from people was overwhelming. And let me just thank them once again. I know I keep thanking them, but I do want to publicly thank them and just give them, you know, their praises, because without them I wouldn't have been able to do a lot of things. Because even setting up the venue before I got there, I couldn't have been able to do that, because I was at home. I had to do things before I got there, and there was a lot of delays. You know, sometimes when you're planning an event or party or whatever it is you're planning, things might not go to plan, and you got a lot of things doing on your side of things. So I didn't hire out like an event planner. I was relying on my team, my friends and family and whatnot. Well, friends anyway, and they helped out. They came through for me. They got to the venue. You know what? It was my friend Denise. Shout out to Denise. Yes, I'm gonna give you all your flowers. You hooked me up with the venue. And from the beginning, you know, she was really, really, really big supporter. She hooked me up with the venue, and she gave she allowed access for us to get there and set up, and she was just there from the beginning to the end. Like, I can't even tell you. She was like, yeah, she was a star. And then you got who else? My other little team that I put together for the multi-birth experience. You've got Low Bay. Shout out to Low Bay, my girl Low Bay, Jay Dean. Thank you, Jay Dean. You guys are a star. Who else? You know what? My mind is frozen, but OB, I can't forget you. You and at the time it was London Light, but you know we got OC Couture now. So OB and you know what? I'm not even gonna discredit this girl. She was there helping out. Her name is Sophie. She was there, so I'm not gonna leave her out of that. She was there. Thank you, Sophie, for being there and helping out and putting the thing together alongside OB. Who else? Oh my! I should have wrote the names down. But there was a lot of people there helping. Even the speakers. You know, I had Wise Toller. She hosted it for me. She presented it for me. Thank you so much, Wise Toller, for that. And Lola Adebayo, she was one of the speakers. She spoke about her book. And I'm going to mention her a bit later on in the episode because she was one of my first guests on the podcast. So thank you, Lola Adebayo, who's the author of She's My Twin Sister and That's My New Friend. She was one of my speakers. And also I had Sarah, young lady called Sarah. She was speaking on life insurance and the importance of life insurance in the Black community. She had gone through a tragic loss in her family. Her older brother was murdered last year. You might have heard of it. It was in the news. He was murdered on the streets in North London, and that kind of prompted her to go harder to get people to sign up for life insurance. And if you don't have life insurance, I recommend you not get life insurance. It's really, really important. Really, really important, life insurance. So shout out to Sarah for, you know, educating us on the life insurance. Who else? Vanessa Raimundo. I'm going to mention her again. She was one of my first speakers, my first guest on the podcast. She's actually currently streaming on our, you know, our platforms. So she's currently on there, the actual recent one, episode 5, part 1 of the Raimundo episode. Listen to her episode. She can, you know what, she's really, really inspiring, and she spoke at the event last year as well. So shout out to Vanessa Raimundo. And who else did we have? We had another twin mum that I met on social media. Her name is Priscilla, or Scylla for short. She's got twin boys, and she also has a platform called Mums That Meet, and she came and spoke to talk about her platform and how she put it together, how she set it up, and just her experience as a twin mother. She's got twin boys, so her experience is going to be way different to my experience because I've got twin girls, even though they're similar. But you know, sometimes, I don't know about you, but I find that raising boys and girls, I mean, I don't have any boys, so I couldn't say that it's different, but from what I've experienced, you know, being around my nephews, because my sister's got twin boys, it is a lot different. You know, girls are much calmer than boys, you know. So she's got 2 boys, I think identical, they look identical to me. So she's got identical boys, and she's married as well. She's married with, she's got, you know, she lives in a regular nuclear family like her husband and her 2 boys. So she was just talking about her experiences and her platform, Mums That Meet. Hopefully I can get her on the podcast one of these days to see where she's at now, and you know, having, you know, a little follow up on what she's doing and how she's getting on since the pandemic and since we last saw her at the event, you know. So yeah, shout out to Scylla. Who else? Had some sponsors, some supporters, a young lady called Vicky. She came to promote her book called Jerome and Friends. Jerome and Friends, that's a really good book. You guys should check it out. Thank you to Vicky. Thank you to what's her name? Thank you to, she she donated cupcakes for us. Oh, what's her name? She's my friend as well. I don't know why am I saying what's her name? Like, I actually know her. My friend Lara, that's it. Lara Creative Cakes. Thank you to Lara. She donated 50 cupcakes to our event. So shout out to her. And who else? There's a lot of people I want to thank. Thank you to my family for coming to support. They did their part. My mum, my sister, my sisters Lola and Bola, and my mum came out to support. Shout out to them. Just shout out to everyone that that supported Remy and you guys, man. You guys, I do appreciate it. Those things haven't come on notice, So thank you to everyone that came out and supported Basola, La Porsche, Anna La Porsche. Thank you guys. And that was the plan was to do more of those kind of events, but with on a bigger scale. I was actually in the middle of planning another event that was supposed to be in April for like Easter. It was like an Easter kind of event for family and children and things like that. And obviously due to the pandemic, it had to get shut down. I mean, I shut it down quite a bit early because something was happening behind the scenes. But luckily, I was thinking, you know what? I had the feeling that because I was thinking, what's going on? Something was just delaying things. Like, the funding of the event is what was delaying. To be honest, I had my venue down, I had everything down. It was just the funding that I couldn't get in on time, and then because of the funding, I had to then cancel because the time was getting closer and closer to the day and venue that I secured, but I had nothing going on. And Liz Mafrica, she approached me. She wanted to be a part of that event and help put it together because part of her business, part of her company also includes event planning. So she wanted to sponsor that event by putting it together. And, obviously, unfortunately, we wasn't able to do so because of, like I said, the funding. And then the pandemic came in. So the timing, I wouldn't say it was great, but you know what? Thank God I didn't spend all that money because there was a lot of people that had events put together that they couldn't even, they had to cancel everything, and a lot of people couldn't get no refund on things. Like when it came to the finance side of things, a lot of people, a lot of companies, a lot of businesses lost a lot of money due to this pandemic. And you know what? I don't want to put it down on other people, but I just thank God that I wasn't one of those people because I don't know what I would have done if I had put all that money pumped it into my event and then wasn't able to even carry the event out, execute it, because I don't know what I would have done, because I would have just, I don't know, that would have been so stressful. I just, shout out to those that, that's going through it, because boy, I don't know, you guys. Hopefully those people, everyone that's lost money from the pandemic, hopefully you guys have got your refund or got something back in return, because it's not a good thing. It's not, no one expected something like this. I know they offered a lot of bounce back loans and things like that to help support businesses and things like that. So maybe that could have helped, hopefully that helped you guys out and, and got you guys back on your feet. But yeah, it's been a crazy one, like I said. And, that was one of my main big events I was planning to do, but I couldn't do it. So then I had to go back to the drawing board and just think about what it is I wanted to do to keep the multiple birth experience going. Because I had my platform on social media. I had, I've got my Instagram page, I've got my Facebook page, I've got my Twitter. I wasn't really active on Twitter, but I was still active on Instagram and my Facebook. So it was still going, but I just needed something to keep us together, connected and communicating, and just something for my followers to know that, we're here, and just to keep the aim and the goal of what the multiple birth experience is, you know, which is supporting families of multiples, and even like just sharing stories and experiences. Because sometimes you got, you know, there's even sometimes not even younger, they could be older as well, but you know, there's people out there that might feel alone, they're going through it alone, and they're thinking that there's no one else that is going through it like them. And just to hear inspiring stories somehow, whether it's on our website or on our podcast, not that other people's downfall makes you feel better, but there's always going to be a positive outcome out of it, not just like a sad story. So my thing is not to just have a sad story. The sad story and the journey, the outcome of it is what inspires me. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I see a lot of mothers, single mothers that are married, whatever it is, mothers, even fathers. We're not going to leave fathers out, because there are single fathers out there that's doing it as well. There are single fathers out there that want to do it but can't. They have their own story to tell, you know. So I do welcome fathers as well to come along. You know, contact me if you want to share your story, because it will be nice to hear the father's perspective on being a father, being a parent, being a single father at that, being some form of having some form of responsibility in their children's lives, or raising multiples, even raising one. It will be interesting and nice to see you guys are doing it, and you know, your perspective and how you juggle things, because we hear a lot of mothers doing it, and it's out there and it's common. Yes, it is. And I've created that platform to give us a voice to put out there, but also men as well. I know that there's men out there that are doing it as well, so I'm not even gonna knock you guys, because you guys, I know it's made a big deal, because it's not common to see guys being single parents. But you know what, I wanna give you guys your flowers too. Come on, and you know, let us know how you guys are doing it, what you guys are doing, if you're a single father, or how you are not even struggling, but how you're juggling everything. It will be so interesting to know. So yeah, hit me up on Instagram on TMBE official or TMBE podcast on Instagram, or you can just email me at the inquiries at themultiplebirthexperience.com. That's my email, inquiries at themultiplebirthexperience.com. You can hit us up on there and just let us know if you're interested, you know, if you want to share your story and be a guest on one of our episodes. So we got to that part of things. So the aim of this episode is to really just have to look back on 2020, just to wrap it up. I know we've got like one episode left, which was I was going to release it today actually, but I thought, no, let me just keep to the same schedule and just do our little wrap up on the 1st of January, really. So then fast forward, when we were having our lockdown, you know, I was trying to think of, like I said, what to do for the multiple birth. In the meantime, I was decorating. I decided to decorate my house. I decorated, painted wallpaper from head to toe. I documented it on my Snapchat, and it's on my Instagram. If you want to take a look at Tola Baby, you can check out my Instagram page, Tola Baby, or you can check out Imad Interiors on Instagram as well. Imad Interior _ that's my painting decorating page, which I decided to put together because I just started like doing one room and then I just went and did the whole house. I mean, I got my kitchen left to do, but yeah, it was just so therapeutic because pandemic, I mean, the lockdown was so boring. I was so bored. You know, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything. So then I thought, you know what, might as well just do some painting. And then some painting led to just, you know, doing the whole house, you know, and from there people started approaching me to help, you know, to get to see their places, and you know, we took it from there. So that was a new little business that I started, and I mean, it took a toll on my body at some point because I'm one person doing it on my own, but I'm not going to give up. The aim is to build a team, so whoever's interested, come on board, let me know. It would be nice of a team of women. So yeah, shout out to everyone that contacted me and got their rooms decorated or wallpapered by Imad Interiors. So so then while I was recovering from the aches and pains from painting and decorating, while I was recovering from there, I mean, I've always said I wanted to do a podcast, to be honest. It's not like it just came out of nowhere. You know, when you think of doing something for so long, but you don't really know how to go about it, or you don't know how to even put it together, you don't know where to start. So it was just always at the back of my mind, but I just didn't know where to start. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I had to do more research on how I was going to put this podcast together. So obviously, as I was doing more research, I was putting money away on the side to kind of save up to see if I can buy the equipment and stuff, and then, to put it together and start it. And also I had to build up my confidence, because I was thinking, I don't really want to talk about this in front of the world, or I was feeling a bit nervous, like, oh my gosh, I don't really want to, how am I going to do it? It's like I want to do it, but I'm too scared. I'm nervous to do it. But my fears, you know what, even me talking right now, I'm even surprised, because I've come on not a long way, but I feel actually comfortable talking about it. I think my nerves was mainly about talking about my personal experience, because the first episode, we kicked off with episode 1, which was my episode, the Tola Imad episode. And that was pretty much me opening up about my situation and my experiences, my birth story from the beginning to end. I mean, I didn't even finish the story because it was so long. But the purpose of that was that I wanted to get people on board to talk about their experiences, get them to open up, be vulnerable, be open and honest, just to talk about their situation, just talk about anything that they wanted to share that would inspire another person out there, like I said, with a positive outcome. Now, I thought for me to do that, for me to expect others to do that, it's only right that I put myself out there first. Do you get what I'm saying? Because there's no point of me expecting other people to put themselves out there, but I'm not going to put myself out there. It didn't make no sense. So I said, you know what, let me put myself out there. Let me set the tone. Let me set the standard. Let me set the path, the road to wherever it is that I'm trying to take this to, so that everyone else can follow. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm getting people coming, saying that they want to be a part of it and share their story as well, which was I'm so happy, because that was the main purpose. All I want to do is inspire people. All I want to do is help others. All I want to do is just be that, be the platform for those that need a voice. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you get what I'm saying. So yeah, like I said, I put the podcast together finally, thank God. And with the help and support of you guys, we are now at episode 5 with the Vanessa Raimundo. So we started off with my episode, which is the Tola Imad episode. And then we went into episode 2 with the Lola Adebayo episode. I remember I was saying to you earlier on before, she is the author of She's My Twin Sister, and also her recent book that she just released in August called That's My New Friend. And it's just about her twins. She's got twin girls, fraternal twin girls that is, and they are just so adorable. They're so cute. I love them to bits. It just follows their twin venture journey as twins. So, the first book just introduces them as individuals, Amira and Amira and Amel. That's it. Amira and Amel is that in the introduction talks about them as sisters and individuals, and just letting you guys know who they are and the different personalities. And then the second book talks about them having a friend, and I don't know about you guys, I mean, it happens to non-twins as well. It doesn't always touch the twins, but you kind of see the dynamic of it with the twins, because with my twins, even though they're in different classes, I purposely put them in different classes. I mentioned this on the episode, on the Lola Adebayo episode. I purposely put them in different classes just so that they can have their own independence, and they have different friends. They have their individual friends, yeah? But at the same time, they all play together. So even though they've got individual friends, they are all still friends collectively, because they share everything. You know, I love the fact that they have their own independence now, because in the beginning they were doing everything together. They were in nursery together. They just depended on each other, and now they've got their own separate independence, but still having the same group of friends and network. So, like, for example, they're in their own classes, and let's say playtime happens, they go out and play, and then they play together. You know, so they're together all the time anyway, and they just run. You know, their classes are pretty much next door, so it's not like they're going to be totally separate. But at the same time, they've got their own brain, they've got their own mind. I mean, they've always had that, but they don't. Like, for example, Tamaya, she would always just do everything Tamer does. Everything she does, she would do, yeah. But now she's, you know, she will just decide to. She wants something different now. She will decide what she wants. They want different things now. They don't always follow each other, even though sometimes they want. Like, I'm not gonna say that if I buy one toy, the other person won't want a toy. Yes, they both want a toy too, but they choose what toys they want and make them decide what it is that they want. So the friend thing, they've got their own friends, but at the same time they play together. And you know, if you read, I advise you to read the book, to be honest. No point in me giving away the story and the plot line or whatnot. Read the book. You can get it on Amazon and on their website, twinventures.co.uk. So hit them up on there, and their Instagram page, which is twinventures, at twinventures. No, at the.twinventures. So yeah, shout out to Lola Adebayo. And then episode 3 was pretty much a 2-part episode. So it was episode 3 and 4, because it was one episode, but I had to split it into 2 because it was a very long episode. So episode 3 and 4 was 2 parts of the Liz Mafrica episode. And Liz Mafrica, if you go on, you know, listen to that episode, she doesn't have any twins. Like I said, I don't. Even though that's the main goal of it all, I do also want to give others the opportunity to talk as well about their experience, because we're all mothers at the end of the day. We're all doing the same thing. We all want to inspire. We all want to, you know, we're all going through the same kind of struggle in a way. So she is a single mother of 3, and her brand is the Mafrica brand, which she started 5 years ago, or almost 6 years ago now, back in 2015, I think. And she talks about the beginning stages of, you know, building the Mafrica brand, and even before that, when she was younger in uni, she got herself through uni while still being a mother of, I think, 2 even, or 1. I'm not really sure how many kids she had while she was going through uni, but she completed uni. And I know going to uni and having young children is not easy. So I do rate her for that. I do rate her because it is not an easy thing to do. I mean, I tried to do it in 1, and that wasn't easy. And she was doing it with more than 1, and she had a partner as well. She had a partner, and I know many are doing it. Yes, I know a lot of people are doing it, but it still doesn't make it easy. Those people that are doing it, it's not easy. So those that are doing it can say it's not easy to do. It's not easy to get through studying and still being a mother and still being a wife and still doing, you know, even trying to look after yourself, as well as trying to complete your degree or even a master's. It's not easy. So she talks about that. She also talks about domestic violence, because she went through some kind of domestic violence in another relationship after her partner. So she touches on that, and that's not something that we often even talk about, especially in the black community. So please listen out for that, because domestic violence is high. It's even higher now because of the whole coronavirus lockdown pandemic. Everyone's been forced to be at home, you know, around their partners, and they're seeing things that they never saw before, because they used to, you know, just leaving the house at 8 in the morning and not coming back till 10 at night, and then sleeping and doing it all over again. So they're not around each other that long for that many hours, you know. But now, because they're being forced to stick around and not stick around, but they're just being forced to see each other's face every day. You know, they're being forced to just be around each other 24/7. Things, you know, they're starting to see new things. They're starting to notice different things as well. So a lot of things, as you know, is brought out the anger out of people, I guess, or even the worst out of people. Some people has made them closer. Some people has made them fall in love even more. Some people has made them realize that that's the one that they want to be with and get married. Like, it's just brought out different things in different people, you know. So the domestic violence, she talks on that and her struggle trying to juggle more than one restaurant. She had a restaurant, one in Barking and one in Upton Park, and she didn't touch on doing too much. Basically, she did too much than what she can manage, and it became overwhelming, and she ended up losing everything. So when you get a chance, listen to that episode. It's on our platforms, Spotify, Anchor, Pocket Cast, even on YouTube. We've got on YouTube, Radio Public. Listen out for those episodes. And then currently, and on part 2 as well, everything's on there. And then we get to the current episode, which is the Vanessa Raimundo episode, and she is a young lady, Portuguese native. She was born and raised in Portugal. She came here, I think, when she was 16, and she just talks about her early days in Portugal, being raised by her mother and stepfather, being sexually molested by her stepfather, which is her sister's dad, and her mum kind of knowing about it but not really doing anything about it to protect her. So she talks about that and just her early days, and then also being in in care with social services, the Portugal social services. She was in care from about 9, I think she said. Yeah, you have to go on there and listen to it. It's really, really, really interesting and inspiring. She talks a lot about, there's 2 parts to that as well. So part 2 is coming out on Monday. So part 1 is currently what's streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Radio Public, Pocket Cast. Yeah, go on there, listen to the Vanessa Raimundo episode and be inspired. She runs a non-profit organization called the Mums on the Mission. Mums on a Mission. It dominates more in the east of London, like Barking and Newham, Barking, Dagenham and Newham. But she has a team of mothers, and she supports and advocates for single mothers in terms of housing and a lot more. She talks about it all on there. So listen to that, get all the information. I don't want to give you all the juicy details, so just go on there, listen, and be inspired, like I said. And we get to where we are today, which is me talking to you guys and wrapping up the 2020 year, basically, and trying to just see what we talk about, what we got coming forward. And going forward, apart from having episodes from our guests dedicated to them and talking about their experiences and inspiring you guys and talking about what they've got going on, their projects going on, and what they've been through in their life, apart from that, we will also be talking about trending topics and what's going on out there, world news, things like that. I've got an episode that should be coming out sometime next week, or even between tomorrow and next week. I've got an episode that I will be putting out it's about these twin girls. Well, they're not girls anymore. Basically, this is what it is. They were identical twin girls, and they transitioned to male. So from female to male. Identical twin girls that transitioned from female to male. They're fully transitioned now, and it's interesting because they both wanted to transition. They both felt the same thing, that they were in the wrong bodies. They both had that feeling, and I've been looking into it. I've been reading up on it, and I'm gonna have an episode about that coming out soon. So look out for that. The identical twin girls who transitioned from female to male. That's look out for that. It's really, really, really interesting. I haven't really seen something like that before. It kind of popped up on my Snapchat. I don't know if you got that section on your Snapchat where you get all that news and information on you got your stories, all the stories, and you got the subscriptions, and you got the Discover. In the Discover part, that popped up, and I was like, wow, twin girls, they both transitioned from female to male. Like you would never think they used to be females. And yeah, that's an interesting story that I want to share. Well, not really, share, but not from my perspective, just to share with you what I got from what I found, what I researched. So look out for that. And another story I came upon, a friend sent it to me on my Snapchat. But a lot of people sending me stories because they know what I do. So my friend sent this to me on Snapchat that also popped up on her discovery, which was about a young lady that is pregnant with triplets. She's pregnant with triplets. But how she became pregnant with triplets was crazy. Because what it was, she was pregnant with twins first. She was pregnant with twins first. And then she conceived another pregnancy while she was pregnant already with twins. So now she's pregnant with triplets. How crazy is that? And I'm thinking, hold on a minute. Is that even possible? So you're pregnant. You know what? This is not even going to be a separate episode. I'm just going to talk about it on this one before we wrap up. So basically, a mother reveals that she conceived a third child while already expecting two. Did you hear what I just said? She was pregnant with twins, and then she conceived another child while she was already pregnant. So in my head, I'm thinking, hold on a minute. So that means the twins already in her stomach is older than the one that she just conceived, because that third baby is going to be growing at a different rate, right? It's going to be growing at a different speed because I don't know how many. No, let me just even read it. Basically, a mom-to-be has revealed that she is expecting triplets after conceiving her third child while already pregnant with twins. A TikTok user, but going by the name of the Blonde Bunny 1, has been using the platform to document and answer questions about her incredible double pregnancy, an extremely rare phenomenon known as superfetation. I have to look into that. Superfetation. She explained in one clip that the first two babies are 10 and 11 days older than the third baby. 10 and 11 days older than the third baby. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like I hear so many stories since I've been doing this multiple birth experience project. I've been hearing so many stories that is just so bizarre and crazy and even just interesting. Like, I mean, I've never heard of that. I've heard of twins being fathered by two different men. I've heard of that because that was on one Maury episode one day. Back in the day, I saw an episode of Maury and she was trying to say, well, not trying, she was saying that this guy was the father of their baby, but then it turned out that they were both fathers of both babies, like twins, had different dads. Oh my gosh, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Now this one twins were 10 and 11 days older than her third baby. So that's how we knew straight away it was a second pregnancy. That's what she says, yeah, in her clip on TikTok. She then explained in other videos that she and her fiance conceived their children naturally without any fertility drugs. So it wasn't through IVF or anything or surrogacy. It was a natural conception. A natural conception. You see God? Do you see God? So she explained that through no help or whatsoever through fertility drugs she conceived. Also noted that in some instances, superfetation can occur months after the first pregnancy, but that didn't happen in her case. She said, I just happened to hypovulate and ovulate twice in 1 month. So that is how I got pregnant already after already getting pregnant with twins. So it's basically she ovulated twice in 1 month. She ovulated and hyperovulated twice in 1 month. So she got pregnant twice, basically. She said her hormones, your pregnancy hormones are supposed to stop you from ovulating, but in her case it didn't. So when she got pregnant with the twins, her hormones kept on going, and I guess released another egg, which then caused her to get pregnant while still having sex while she was pregnant. Because you can still have sex while you're pregnant. The mum, who is now 17 weeks pregnant and due around mid-spring, said that the plan is to get all 3 babies 28 weeks and then hopefully carrying them to 38 weeks, to 32 weeks or longer. So they want to get to 28 weeks, and then when they get to 28 weeks, they want to see, they want to try to even prolong it as long as possible so that they're not, delivering too early. So that's their plan. So while her babies are technically have different due dates, they were conceived close enough for that to happen, basically. So they can still have the same birthday. It's just that they were conceived at different times, which makes sense. That's possible. So she was answering questions from her followers, and the mum-to-be said, although it's 2 separate pregnancies, they will be referred to as triplets because they will be born on the same day. They want to make sure that they're born on the same day because they're going to be born on the same day. Yeah. When we raise them, we're going to raise them all as triplets, which makes sense. I mean, why not? They're going to love them equally, and one day we will tell the story. She added, I want them to know it's such a special, unique circumstance. The parents-to-be don't know their baby's genders yet, but they're pretty sure that they are done having children after they welcome their triplets. I don't blame them, I don't blame them because, hey, babies is not an easy thing to do. Raising babies is not easy, boy. And if they've got like 2 boys and a girl, or 2 girls and a boy, or whatever, if they've got at least a boy and a girl in the mix, then why? There's no point. There's no point. But they've got it all in it. They've got it all in one pregnancy. She also said in one clip that they hit the jackpot. She said, and I quote, "We hit the jackpot. It's our first pregnancy, and we've got 3 coming at once. So probably going to be my last as well." So she says that she doesn't want to have any more after this, since it's her first pregnancy and they're having 3, which makes sense. I don't want any more children either. So they might as well just enjoy the 3 that they've got. I mean, things change. Sometimes you have more children than what you expect to have. Sometimes pregnancies, as quiet as it's kept. Some pregnancies are not planned. You can still be married and not plan your pregnancies, but still go through with the pregnancy. I don't understand why some people make it seem like it's a bad thing to say a pregnancy wasn't planned. Not all pregnancies are planned, and it's not a bad thing to admit it. Like, so what if a pregnancy wasn't planned? If you kept the pregnancy and you're going through with pregnancy and you choose to raise the child, then what's wrong with that? Yes, it wasn't planned, but so, there's nothing wrong with that. And some people plan their pregnancy, so people need to stop, making people feel bad about their decisions to, keep a pregnancy or not plan a pregnancy or whatever the case may be. Everyone's body is their own. It's none of no one's business. At the end of the day, they're not the ones. Those people with opinions are not the ones helping you raise the babies at the end of the day. So so that's the story that I wanted to share. That's interesting. You can follow her on TikTok because it was her TikTok. She was telling her story. The blonde bunny 1. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, man. So that's something I'm gonna look into. That super dictation thing. So look out for the other story that I was mentioning about the twins transitioning. And yeah, I just want to wrap up now because we're coming towards the end of this episode, and I just want to say thank you again to everyone, to all my listeners, to my followers. I wish you guys nothing but success, good health, because 2021 is just the beginning. COVID is not over. This is just the beginning, and we want to get through 2021 also. So I wish you guys nothing but good health, good success in anything you put your hands into, whether it's businesses and projects. I wish you all success. If you have a story you want to share with the multiple birth experience, contact me. You can hit me up on my personal Instagram, which is Holla Baby. You can hit me up on the Multiple Birth Experience page, which is the TMBE official, or you can hit me up on the Multiple Birth Experience podcast Instagram page, which is the TMBE podcast on Instagram. And the same for Twitter. On Twitter, we are TMBE official _. And the podcast page is just TMBE official. That's on Twitter. So don't mix us up. Only you'll see our logo anyway with the 3 stars, so you wouldn't miss it. And we're also on Facebook as well, the Multiple Birth Experience and the Multiple Birth Experience podcast. So thank you again, guys. Keep, subscribe. And that's another thing. Yeah, the podcast that we have on our platforms, please subscribe to our podcast so you can stay up to date. Hit the notification bell so you know when we upload or post. And please even download, so if you want to listen to it at a later time, you can do that on our Spotify. We have Spotify. You can listen to us on Spotify. You can listen to us on Radio Public. You can listen to us on Google Podcast. You can listen to us on Pocket Cast. You can also listen to us on Breaker. We're on Breaker. And you can, and Anchor, that's it. Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcast, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and most importantly, YouTube. Get us subscribe to our YouTube channel, because the YouTube channel will be going forward for 2021. We plan to have other content on there, so we're not just going to have our podcast, we're also going to have other visual content on there. So subscribe to that, and stay locked in, stay with us, and and follow us on our journey, because we are a community at the end of the day, and I want the community to grow and grow, and we're all going to grow together. And we'll, at the end of the year, at the end of 2021, we're going to be looking back at the year and even January, and just saying how massively we've grown in the community. So that's my goal. And yeah, thank you everyone. I do really appreciate it. And by God's grace, God's willing, we'll have bigger, better things coming up. And if you want to support us, we have our what's it called? Actually, no. Just support us in every product that we have. Follow us on all our social medias, on all our social medias. Tongue twisted. On all our social medias, and subscribe to our YouTube channels. All right. So yeah, that's it for tonight. And Monday we'll be posting part 2 of the Vanessa Ramundo episode. So yeah, I am Tola Imad. I don't know if I mentioned that in the beginning. I'm Tola Imad. I am your host, your presenter, your girl, and you're listening to the Multiple Birth Experience podcast.